You know, it seems hard to imagine these days, but decades ago, the gold medal winner of the decathlon was considered to be the greatest athlete in the world. But the sports world has shifted a little bit. I mean, how many of us can actually even name one decathlete right now? But in the summer of '76 at the Olympic Games in Montreal, while Bruce Jenner was publicly thriving in that event, privately he was struggling, deeply struggling. Last year, he went from prominent former decathlete to the most well-known transgender woman in this country. Our Chris Connolly sat down with Caitlyn for a flashback 4 decades in the making.
The events have been knocked off one by one, and now only one remains.
At the Olympic Stadium in Montreal, site of the 1976 Summer Games, the 1,500 meters, the final event in the men's decathlon, was moments away.
Now Bruce Jenner faced a race that still could cost him. What was going through his mind, I wonder?
I had gender issues. I had all these issues going on inside that I didn't want anybody to know.
What should we know about you now that we didn't know about that person then?
When you struggle with your identity, and you struggle from day one, I was never comfortable with myself. Back when I was young, everything just didn't seem to be right with me. But I found sports, and that's what everybody wanted me to do, to play sports. And I could be the guy. And I gravitated to it, never knowing where I was going.
It's been over a year that the world has known Caitlyn Jenner, the gold medalist, putting a lifetime of private anguish in the past by transitioning to a woman, advocating for the transgender community while accepting the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage at the 2015 ESPYs.
If you want to call me names, make jokes, doubt my intentions, go ahead. Because the reality is, I can take it. But for the thousands of kids out there coming to terms with being true to who they are, they shouldn't have to take it.
Before reality TV turned her family members into household names, the platform that has given Caitlyn Jenner the chance to share her story with so many was built over 2 days in 1976, with victory in the decathlon.
I give thousands and thousands and thousands of speeches, motivational speech about the games, about winning, about losing, about overcoming obstacles, all these types of things. But I would stand up there on stage and look out at the audience and think, they don't know anything about me. I would literally sometimes go upstairs, change, cross-dress, go out that night, walk around the hotel. I'd never talk to anybody because my voice would give me away, but I could just walk around, be comfortable in myself. I never got caught. But after all these years of struggling, it was time to let this woman that lived inside of me constantly, 24 hours a day, it was time for her to have an opportunity to live.
While leafing through a scrapbook of images, Caitlyn recalling a life-altering saga.
Looked like you knew what you were doing.
It was a good couple of days.
That can still evoke a sense of pride.
When we talk about this person and the events 40 years ago, how would you like us to refer to that person?
It's Bruce. I love my past. I'm still in so many ways the same person. Now, I might identify differently and people may look at you differently, but I'm still the same person.
On July 29, 1976, Jenner began a quest for Olympic gold with a 10.94 in the first of the decathlon's 10 events.
Best 100 meters of my life. I remember crossing the finish line and trying to slow down, and I kind of had a hard time slowing down. And I basically said to myself, all you guys can go home.
Now, what about the risk of fouling in the long jump or something?
It scares you to death. What? You see, right now you bring it up, and look at, I'm shaking. Yes, yes. You can't be fooling around. You got to get the first one out there good.
Jenner ended day one with another personal best in the 400 meters.
I was only 35 points out of the lead after the first day and all my good events of the second day. The only event that I was a little bit conservative with was the hurdles.
Event number 8 was the pole vault, the only decathlon Jenner had lost in the previous 3 years, had come after failing to clear its opening height.
Well, I think I started like 14 feet. I'm talking real easy jump. Lean back. Cleared that baby by 3 feet. I've never been so high over 14 feet, I think, in my life. It scared me. I was so high over it. I went, ah, I shouldn't be up this high. And then, boom, came down the other side, landed in the pit, looked up, saw the bar there, wasn't even touched. It's yours. It's done.
After the javelin came the final event, the 1,500 meters, the clip so many have seen.
Look familiar?
Yeah, it was a good time in my life. Boom. Actually, you want to know what actually went through my mind right then? Honestly, I didn't know what to do with the flag.
A guy just ran out and handed you the
It
flag.
handed me the flag. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what do I do with it? You know? Do I put it up? And so that one time right there, I put it up in the air. I thought I got to do it once. And then I'll kind of fold it up and put it away because I thought it was just too hot doggy to like actually take a victory lap with the flag.
You didn't drop to the ground. You didn't like kiss the ground or roll on the ground or like, I'm so exhausted. Why was that important?
Because I won and everybody else there didn't.
We know the torment that this person in the pictures was going through. Can we still be happy for that person?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So happy. It was a great time in my life. And I'm very proud of that time.
Where I am now is exactly how I want to finish. And by finish, he means start anew. Michael Phelps swearing off Tokyo, saying these Olympics are his last. The 31-year-old wants to chill with his 3-month-old son, Boomer, marry his longtime girlfriend, Nicole. Ready to expand his little family. No interest in extra hardware because really, honestly, he has no place to put it. Our Wayne Dreys caught up with the most decorated Olympian at the Crave Jerky event in Rio.
You know, over the last 24 years of my career, it's kind of just little small stepping stones that were running through my head kind of the last day, just because it's all coming to an end. This is it. Not gonna swim competitively ever again, and it felt good this time because I think last time I wanted it to just end quick. I wanted it to be over, and now I was actually enjoying it.
When it was over, how did it feel different than it did 4 years ago, this goodbye?
I think I was happy, and happy to say goodbye, happy to kind of leave and start something new, or get ready to start something new. You know, I think in London I wanted to kind of stiff arm it and just say, get out of my life, I don't want anything to do with you. But now I think I was just kind of embracing the situation and everything that I had. And this week, you know, this week was crazy. You know, I mean, I could see Bob was kind of freaking out at the end of the week. You know, the double that I had with the 2 IM 100 fly, he was freaking out. 100 fly final, obviously, he's excited. And then the 400 medley relay, he was emotional the whole time. So being able to share that moment, I think, is something that was super special for the both of us, because we were both finally there and both finally ready to move on.
Tuesday night, you're in the ready room, semifinals of the 200 fly, and Chad starts shadowboxing. Honestly, what are you thinking?
I saw it and was just like, okay, here we go. I knew media was going to ask about it. I without question knew it was going to get brought up. And I was just kind of I wasn't going out of my way to make dirty faces. But I kind of figured that I was probably going to have a face, and there was somebody that was going to capture it, and somebody was going to ask about it. But I also, at the same time, just know that we all have our own little rituals that we go through, and if that's his, that's his.
Have you ever seen somebody get ready like that before?
I can't say I have, no. But I was just like, okay, to each their own. Do what you got to do.
And so that night, you get back to your place in the village. Did you realize how your face had exploded on the internet?
Well, I had friends who were sending me memes throughout that session afterwards, and then I got a photo of like emojis or bitmojis that are going all over the place. So it was kind of interesting. It's just, I mean, I guess after that that's when everything really started just going crazy back home. I spoke to a friend a few days after that, and he was like, dude, it's just like it was in 2008. He's like, people were going absolutely bananas. And then everybody started asking me to do the Michael Phelps face. I don't even know what I was doing.
While some of your roommates and teammates are out till all hours of the night doing who knows what were you doing after these games different than the past?
I was back here with Boomer and Nicole asleep as fast as I could.
That's a little different than the Olympics in the past.
I was out till all hours of the morning before. I think it's crazy with the hours that we had for swimming being so late. So it was nice to just sleep as much as I could. I mean, I slept on the couch yesterday and it was just, I mean, I woke up and I didn't know where I was. Like I was just I'm just beat. I'm beat physically, emotionally, everything.
You've had your personal issues after an Olympics or after a major meet.
Yeah.
What gives you the confidence that this will be different without swimming in your life?
I think the biggest change now is, obviously I have a child. I'm getting married this year. But also I'm just in a different place mentally, and I think that's one thing that I couldn't say in the past. You know, for me, I've gone through a couple bad spells in the last, past 2 Olympics. And, here, I'm happy outside of the pool. I'm happy inside of the pool. I have a great family life.
What do you want Boomer to take away from these games?
I've heard that question before, and I don't 100% know right now. For me, it was something special to have him here for my last swim. I think that's something that I always thought possibly could happen, but didn't know if it actually would.
What do you want him to learn from your career?
Nothing is perfect in life. Learn every step of the way. Hard work, dedication, it does pay off. Just small things, and I think Nicole and I will end up teaching other things along the way. But also, I mean, he can also take whatever he wants off, from my career, and I want him to be his own person. Somebody's asking last night, are we going to push him to be a swimmer? No. If he wants to be a swimmer, he'll be a swimmer. That's one thing that I was very fortunate that my parents never did to me. Nicole and I will go through some of these processes together and learn new things, and hopefully we'll be able to instill into him some of the things that we learned as a kid.